What is your worst bomb so far?
Oh my God.
Take a sip of water.
I know.
The
I'm
trauma
like,
set in.
so I have a joke about it, but I won't tell the joke. That it's just a story about how when I was still living in Orlando, I got hired to perform at like a music festival or like it was weird. It was like a music festival. It was like a women's surf competition. It was this thing, and it was in Jacksonville where I started comedy. And it was cool because like I was recommended by the Orlando Improv, which at the time I was working at, and it was like a big deal because it was a female-oriented event, and they wanted a female comedian. So they're like, oh, Morgan Gallo. But I didn't know until I talked to the guy that I would be opening for Smash Mouth. And I think Smash Mouth they have cool music. That lead singer was a douchebag, but like I was like, ooh, this is going to be so cool. And I like told my dad about it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is going to be sick. And it turned out to be that they wanted me to do comedy like in between the bands.
Ugh.
And it was at an outdoor, it was at a huge amphitheater, like at night with like 6,000 people.
How long you been doing comedy?
I had been doing comedy 2 years at that point. And so I had 10 minutes. Like I was like, I can do it.
Right.
But I guess I knew that live music and comedy didn't go well together. Like I knew that. But I had also been doing a lot of open mics that were all arts open mics. And I was like, oh, I know what it's like to go after a guitar player. Like, I'm going to kill it. But the audience, the people that come to watch Smash Mouth are not the same people that come to watch female comedy. And so I went on stage, and the producer, like, didn't tell me this until I was about to go on stage. They were sound checking all the instruments while I was doing my set. And he didn't tell me that was going to happen. And so I'm on stage and I'm like kind of just ripping through material because people are, it's an amphitheater. So they're like talking, they're getting drinks, like they're packing in to see Smash Mouth. They've been waiting 3 hours to see Smash Mouth. And so anyway, I'm on stage, I'm bombing. Gosh. There's like drums in the background going on. There's like a bass player trying to tune the fucking bass. And I got heckled really bad. There were a lot of men who were saying shit like women aren't funny, take your top off.
Oh my.
Like the types of heckles that like as a woman are like the worst case scenario. Like no one is respecting you at all. No one's laughing. People are looking at me like I am insane for being up there. And I'm realizing, yes, I am insane for doing this. And so, yeah, I ran off stage and I got booed by 6,000 people.
Oh my.
And I like locked myself in a utility closet, and I've never cried that hard in my life. Like that like hyperventilating where you can't even like be consoled, and I was like shaking. And it was so bad. And the worst part of it, which I don't tell on stage, but the worst part of it was like after that had happened, I didn't get paid for a week. And so I emailed the producer and I was like, hey, like, thanks so much for having me. Like, I was just trying to be polite. And I was like, I'd love to get the money or whatever.
Right.
And he gave me the money and he was like, here you go. And then he wrote this novel and he was like, to be frank, I'm very disappointed in your performance. It was so disrespectful how you started talking badly about the venue when your set went south. And what he means by me talking about the venue was I started bombing and I was like, you guys love how they booked a female comic for this amphitheater and clearly none of you give a shit. Like I started doing that comic thing where I was like, obviously this is a bad show.
Right.
And so he was upset that I was acknowledging that. And he also was like, I didn't appreciate how raunchy you were, which was weird because when he booked me, I asked him if he wanted me to be clean. And he said, no, we've seen all your material online. You're fine. And all the material I did on stage was material I had done online. Mm-hmm. And so he sent me he like ripped me apart in this email. So I replied and I was like, since we're being frank, you put me in a terrible fucking position. Like, you did not do anything to give me respect on that stage. You were sound checking. You didn't give me any direction on what I was supposed to do. You bogged on my material when you told me it was fine. And I basically told him, like, please do not put another comedian in this position. If you keep doing this festival, do not book a comedian because you are making it so difficult for us. when we deserve to have a good time, and then I just had to get yelled at by men. So it was really bad, and it took me so long to get over it that I only wrote about it and started talking about it on stage like 2 months ago, and that was a year and a half ago.
Are you? It doesn't sound like you are over it. It sounds.
I think I'm over it in the way that like I realize how funny it is, and when I tell the
Gotcha.
story, like I have fun telling it because I recognize how insane of a gig that was.
Mm-hmm.
But I do sometimes kind of get like irked by producers that book comedians and they don't have any knowledge of what it takes to create a good comedy environment, and then they get mad at the comedian for not doing their job when it's like, no, but you didn't set the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like telling a Zamboni driver to go out and Zamboni the beach. Like it doesn't make any sense, and he's gonna just fuck up his machine. Like that's such a dumb comparison. I'm so sorry.
No, that is the perfect comparison.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
so perfect.
I can't do comedy with a bunch of like drunk Smash Mouth fans
Yeah,
that are like
I mean, outdoors is a nightmare. If it's not set up for comedy, outdoors is a nightmare in general. Like comedy has very few parameters for it to go well.
yeah.
And that, drunk Smash Mouth fans.
Yeah.
Did you have to go back up in between bands or anything like that?
No, it was just
So
it was
that
just
one
like right
opening thing.
before Smash. It was like all the bands had gone on.
Okay.
The last band got off. They were like, "All right, we're going to have someone before Smash Mouth comes on." And I like made fun of that too. I was like, "You guys are just here to see the Shrek soundtrack. Like you're not here to see this
Hilarious.
comic." And when I tell you I ran out of that venue after I got out of the utility closet, mascara running down my face. I didn't even get to see Smash Mouth. I didn't even get to sing All Star. And so I ran out of the venue and like called my boyfriend and cried the whole way home to him. It was horrible. Yeah.
That's one of the best. I always ask the guests on here their worst bombs. That's one of the best.
Really?
I've heard. Oh
God.
my god.
The worst part is like I kind of like Smash Mouth. Like I kind of like their music in a very weird way. And every time I hear it, I think about that, and now I laugh. But for a while I like could not listen to it. And every time I tell that story, I love when the sound guy is smart. And after I tell that story, he plays All Star. Like, I think that's so
Hilarious.
funny.
I'm just picturing you crying in the utility closet with All Star playing. Like,
Yeah.
I was going to be an All Star.
Yeah.
Because it's like, comedy is so funny with like, it'll set you up with this high. And then just around the corner, a lot of times, comedy will just be like, not yet. And then just like a low, like there's something to cancel it out.
Yeah.
Not to say to expect it, but I've had so many experiences of, like, I do a 7 o'clock show. Everything kills.
Oh, God.
The 9 o'clock show, I do the exact same show. Crickets. Like,
Yep.
And you're high from that show, and then there's that low after. It's just part of that roller coaster.